My name is Olufemi Adedayakiyomi, a descendant of Karibu Oyeyemade of the Karibu Reunion House. Over the years, my family have served Remo and her interests with one goal in mind: a continuously greater Remo. Since 2008, when I moved back from the UK, I have continued in the family promise to make Remo great. I work with a small team of volunteers, and in our own small way, we have helped the indigenes and residents of Remo better appreciate their community through various fora where needs are discussed and resolved. From this fora and through various groundwork, we have gathered reports on education, agriculture, health, and social amenities in the 3 local governments under Remo constituency. As a result of the gaps and the great needs from these reports, I have put in application to take time off from work to offer myself to serve my people. I'm working towards representing Remo at the Federal House of Assembly come 2015. It is apparent that private funding of the troubled sector is the only solution to quick recovery and a single way to avert disaster. There was a time in the 90s when parents jostled to send their kids to study in schools like Remo Secondary School, which was the first mixed school in West Africa, and Mayflower School in Kenya, and a few other schools. But if you go to those schools now, it will break your heart at the condition of those schools. The situation was same in Lagos a while ago, before they sought World Bank support to build the schools, and I must tell you those schools are in very good conditions now. And that's, and a few other things are part of what I work towards implementing when I eventually allowed to represent Remo at the federal constituency. I will briefly run through what I call my 12 commandments and my promise, which are the rationale of my deciding to leave what I do now to represent my people. Because if we don't make sacrifices, the next generation will suffer the consequences. My promise and my 12 commandments is: the first will be to raise funds from World Bank to fund and revive secondary schools in Remo. We are working towards raising funds from UNESCO to supply books and equipment to schools in Remo. We are working towards raising support from WHO to improve conditions of hospitals in Remo. Provision of free medicine section in some hospitals in Remo, because I believe some hospitals and some health centers we can provide free medicine to a particular level of amount. Provision of free malaria treatments, that will be one of the initial goals in Remo. Our objective within the first 18 to 24 months will be to provide 1,000 jobs for youths, and we would work towards driving federal government funding of graduate training program, which actually is an existence, the GIS scheme. Part of our objectives ensure that youths from Ikene, Remo North, and Shagamu benefit from this scheme. We will train various small businesses to improve the Remo economy, and how we do that is we have projects to develop business coaches to help SMEs, because if these people don't understand how basically to manage the businesses, it will come next year and you will do the same. But if you set up business coaches that see them once in a week, that take them through how to manage their business, how to manage their funds, how to manage their marketing. We have plans to support farmers. There are federal government schemes and various bank schemes to support farmers. As we speak, I know a few farmers in Remo that have benefited, making the agricultural hub, because we have lots of farmlands. For kola nut, cocoa, and lots of cash crops, we have plans now because it's part of our strategy. And we have plans to lobby for better salaries and working conditions for teachers. And aside from that, we have plans to develop a private scheme to employ private teachers. When I was in school, a few teachers that taught us were employed on private scheme. I've discussed with some philanthropists, and they actually are ready to fund a number of teachers in a number of schools if there's a detailed plan of how they will be recruited, how they will be trained, how they will impact on students, and if the services will be justified. They're ready to fund. And we are working towards lobbying for better conditions for students. We all were students, and I appreciate what the conditions now, and we are going to use our influence to lobby for better conditions for students. First, in my primary constituency within Remo, we have a number of institutions within Remo, and our priority is to ensure that, one, they have a better condition to study. Two, working towards providing better conditions for students in high institutions within Remo, because it's not all about studying, it's about appreciating who they are, discovering themselves when they're in school, understanding what the industry is like, what cost and what it leads to, and understanding what, have a better view of what the market is like to prepare them. And lastly, we will lobby for low-cost vehicle scheme for transporters, because if you have a better transport scheme, you empower the people more, and it's still developing the economy, and I mean, it still comes to the GDP of Remo. These are just my 12 commandments, and these are part of why I believe that my service is required to represent my people. Yes, people will ask me, how do you intend to go about this? Part of my influence, part of my role at the Federal Assembly will be to represent my people, present their needs, and to help formulate policies that will improve the life of my people. But with influence, I can garner private support, like I said, when I spoke about World Bank, when I spoke at WHO, and it's not going to be single-handed, because well, I'm going to work closely with the 3 local government chairmen, because we can't actually know the needs of the people if you don't work directly with them, because they actually work directly with their councillors. We're going to be having regular meetings where we can understand how can we progress and where we can better manage the funds that comes from the various NGOs we raise, because it's not all about one person, it's not all about I can do, it's about working together. We actually work with the senators, so because with the senator we can actually work together to ensure that we better the lives of Remo. I'm imploring, and I call out to young people, because many people tell you, oh, politics is dirty, why do you want to do politics? But you see, I am not a politician, but I am a young man that understands that if I do not get up and contribute the little I can, you will see the next 5-10 years and you can't even come back to where you are from, and how long can you live abroad, how long can you live in the city? But there are people from Remo that will grow old to become commissioners, to become international doctors, international surgeons, to become engineers, develop automobiles, inventions. But you see, how can they develop inventions when you have only few people going to private school and they do not have opportunity to compete? Aside from my from continuing my family legacy to make Remo great, I have decided to place myself forward to work with others to ensure that there are basic needs for young children, for the youths, for the teens to achieve their full potentials are in place. If you have good education, a child can go to the average school, learn, compete effectively during exams, win prizes, get scholarships, go outside, make something for himself, his family, and his community. And these are the few benefits we just hope to give. And I do not think it's too much to give and the beautiful indigenes of Remo this. And I totally appreciate what is ongoing. If I'm representing my people, my first priority is to make sure politicking is out of the way, and I focus more on working with everybody, understanding their weaknesses, working with them to ensure that the people benefit. Like I said earlier, I am not a politician. I'm a young man that realizes it's a duty call to serve my people. And if you don't get up, if the ladies don't get up, the gentlemen don't get up to say, okay, I can serve my people in this capacity. There are people that don't have the skills and attributes you have that will get to fill those capacities, and you will just complain and complain and complain. If you're a young teenager just getting to 18 and you have never voted, I want to implore you to please go and register to vote, because that is the only single way you can make a difference. If you get up and everybody gets up and votes, Nobody can push you around. Nobody can decide you should need to vote for someone that will not represent you appropriately. I've done lots of rallies, and youth complain, why should they vote? Because, I mean, people get there and they don't even listen to them. But you see, if you do that and do not vote, some people will pack themselves, vote, and get the wrong people in, and things will get worse. How long do we want to do this? That's why I'm imploring you to please register, hold your voter's card, because that is your key. Then tell your friends, tell your parents, tell your colleagues. I don't want to talk about what goes on like we've seen in some states and some areas where you give out rice, you give out, I mean, it's very insulting and it's very dehumanizing for you to believe that the only way you could get someone's vote is to give the person a bag of rice and a gallon of ground oil. I mean, if a philanthropist reaches out to bless people, it is totally understandable. But if the rationale is for you to get votes, then I mean it's totally, it's human. But if you don't get up and tell them, if I don't get up to tell them and let them understand that this is not what we want, we will continue to live, complain, everybody holds their businesses, and you hold your family. But there comes a time in life where you realize it's not all about yourself, it's not all about your family, it's not all about your immediate environment. You know, it's about everybody, and that's why you see people get frustrated, people, various illegal things. But I beg you and I plead with my Remo people, if you don't make efforts, you wouldn't even get a response. So I want to implore you to please get up, speak to people you can speak to. If you want to reach anybody and it's hard for you, send me an email. I will try as much as possible to see how I could get people to listen to you. Like I spoke to a few people and they've listened to me. I don't want to mention names, but I have spoke to many people and they actually listen, and they do not just listen. They call the people I would need to reach to and they actually give me a listen ear. That's why I sit down here in confidence and tell you that it's actually possible. Do not be afraid of anybody. People tell you politics is dangerous, people are fetish. But I tell you and I ask myself, there's nobody greater than God. And I'm a Christian, I will represent the people in Remo, I represent the Christians, the Muslim, and other religions, because they are indigenes and residents of Remo. They have their beliefs, they have their tradition. But the most important thing is we'll try as much as to preach to people to have a good heart, because that is the only thing. Have a good heart, work with your neighbors, be nice to the next person to you. I thank you very much for giving me listening, giving me a few minutes to listen to what I have to say, and as time goes on I will come to share a few of my experience as I go on tour of Remo with you, and I hope this is the beginning of a new, I wouldn't say uprising, a new generation. Get up, develop what you think you can for your community, reach out to your community leaders, reach out to philanthropists in your area. I have reached out to most philanthropists in Remo and the result is actually awesome, and they are actually working with me to achieve the 12 commandments because they are pulling their strings, and I haven't even started representing Remo. So what I tell you is it's possible, but it's possible if you decide and tell yourself that it's a call, it's a duty call to get up and represent your people.
Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on.
It's a new generation and it's time for you to get up and register and have your voter's card. That is the weapon, that is the first tool. It's time for you to read manifestos and listen and actually observe and ask questions and support young men and women. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be young, don't get me wrong, because the elderly ones, they are mentors. But my point is, if you have a vision, if you believe that there are there's a capacity which you can serve your community, your people. I think you should actually get up and do not sit down. If you start developing what you think is the right policies and send it to appropriate authorities, there won't be new direction. But with a new determination, I believe there can be a new you. That is why I implore you to actually get up. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, tell your parents, tell everybody you meet that Nigeria can be good. And you start from your community. Like I am starting from my community, I'm starting from Remo, and I believe that you start from your community. You could check my website at ifibyourman.com. It's Femi Akinwumi. You could check my Facebook page too, Olufemi Akinwumi. You could like my Facebook page, I will appreciate that. And you have comments, questions, queries. If wherever your constituency is, if you need to get the people, you could send me a mail. If there are people I could reach to, I will gladly reach out to you, as long as you have visions and understand, as long as you have a plan, as long as you have you believe in what you want and you believe in your cause. I will actually do my favors. And you could reach me on my numbers too. 081 351 65692, 080 2886 1974. I look forward to hearing from you, and if you have any queries, like I said, you could check me on my Facebook page. You could check me on my website, ifibyourman.com. I believe it's time to raise a new generation. I stand up and say I can, and I believe you can too. But you need to get up. You need to be active. You need to turn deaf ears to what people are saying. When they tell you, discourage you, they discourage you because they know they are afraid of you. So you need to get up and you need to support yourself and discover a capacity where you can actually contribute. I look forward to hearing from you. I look forward to getting in touch with me on Facebook. I look forward to checking my website, ifibyourman.com, and I look forward to offering, to supporting, giving you the little support I can wherever you need my support, need my advice, or wherever you need. If you are willing to offer if you discover a capacity where you can serve and you have issues, get in touch with me, please. I will offer my support. I thank you for giving me your time. I really appreciate you spending your time, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much, and God bless.
See, you know how I feel. River running.